What you are experiencing is a reflection of something going on within you about your own fears. She's bringing them out in you, but it's not about her, it's about you. We cannot go deeply into this if we cannot communicate more directly with this person at this time, because there are things we would need to explore in depth. But it's not about her, it's about you, and something she is attempting to get you to look at that is a fear within yourself, in your belief system. She is fine.
Good day, Bashar.
Good day. What would you like to discuss this day?
Sure. So I guess I have a couple questions. Probably sound a little bit weird, but a couple months ago, I had, I guess I was awake in bed. I looked over at my wife on my wife's side, and the pillow turned into like almost like a face, and it was very distinct. It was a man's face with a big beard, and at the time, I didn't know who that was or anything. And I ended up looking it up, and it looked like it was the face of like an Anunnaki. Or when I looked at it further, it kind of showed that it was Enki, I believe. And it looked at me and it said, "No, no, no." Now, I wasn't fearful or scared or anything. I was just kind of like in a bit of shock. So I looked at it, and then I realized later it wasn't saying no, no, no. It was saying no, 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 like as in hate.
KNOW.
Yeah. And I
Yes.
guess my first question is like, why did I see that? What does that all mean? What's it trying to tell me? What do I need to know?
Well, you were in the proper state to receive direct communication from another level, from interdimensional spirit realms that allow you to know that you can be more than you are, that you are more than you are as a physical being, that you're connecting to the guides that you have, connecting to the information and knowledge that you need to know. How did it feel vibrationally?
I mean, I guess I was kind of shocked, just like trying to talk myself that what I was seeing was real and that it wasn't made
All
up or
right.
anything.
All
Yeah.
right. But I'm not asking you how you felt emotionally. How did you feel vibrationally?
I guess I felt kind of excited.
All right. Then remember that feeling, because that's the vibrational state to come from in all the actions you do in life that are representative of your truth, your passion, who you really are. They're giving you an opportunity to recognize what your true vibrational state is, your natural state, your core essential vibration. So, and it's also a reminder of the ancient wisdom, which is why it kind of came in a representation of a very ancient form. Know thyself, KNOW. So the idea is the more you know yourself, the more you will be your true self, the more you will express your true self, the more you will constantly operate on that vibrational state that was reflected to you in that moment when you were kind of out of the way, when your physical mind was willing to open up and allow you to receive that particular reminder, that particular reflection at that time.
Okay, perfect. So then this brings me back to another experience that I had in my mid 20s. Again, I was in bed. My wife was beside me. Her father had just passed away. So at the time, I saw a figure in the room. It was very tall with long fingers. It walked over to my wife's side of the bed. And again, I was trying to question myself whether I was seeing things or not. And then I saw the pillow move. And I knew right away that this was real. And I woke her up and told her about it. And then later on, after I started following some of the stuff you were saying, I'm not sure if it was her dad that I was seeing, but if it was maybe something else. I was hoping you could shed some light on that.
It was something else. The father energy was present as well, but what you were seeing was something else that has to do with extra dimensional and extraterrestrial connections and participation in what we call the hybridization agenda and the evolution of humanity.
So was that me being a participant in that, or was that my wife being a participant in that?
At the moment, your wife at that time,
Okay.
but your
Wow.
awareness of it is because you are participating in another way.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. In the last several weeks, I heard you speak in Sedona, And since then, we've had multiple sightings of flashing lights, once in Sedona and 3 times in Kelowna, BC, where I live. And I'm just wondering, why am I seeing this so much lately, including my wife and my family are seeing it too now. We're all seeing it. And
Because you allowed yourself to wake up to the fact that there is a different reality around you that was heretofore invisible. Anytime that you're willing to expand your consciousness, your senses expand along with it to allow you to see what is around you all the time, but most people don't ordinarily see.
so these aren't ships that I'm seeing, right? They're
Yes, some of them are. Some of them can be entities unto themselves. There's a lot of traffic and a lot of activity around your planet. It's just that most people don't see it because they're not on the same wavelength.
okay.
But once your senses expand, once your senses sharpen, then you can see things that you couldn't see before. That becomes what you call your new normal.
And my senses are can be sharpened further by practicing the formula, I assume.
Well, yes, by acting on it, yes.
Okay.
If that is what you mean by practicing.
Yes. May I ask one more question after this question?
Go ahead. And thank you for your cleverness.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just trying to be, no, I wasn't trying to be clever. I just wanted to make sure that,
That was not an admonition.
okay.
It was a compliment.
Oh, thank you. So my last question was, again, I live in Kelowna, BC, on the Okanagan Lake, and here there's tales of the Ogopogo. And again, our family has felt like we've seen a few instances where we've seen it. Is the legend of the Ogopogo real? Is it harmful to us?
It is not harmful to you. It is real, but again, you're dealing with interdimensional beings that can come and go, which is why it is seen so infrequently.
So have
Similar
I,
to the idea of Sasquatch and Yeti.
okay. Have I seen it lately? Like, is that real what I'm seeing then, like in the water?
Sometimes. Sometimes it is a trick of the light. Sometimes it is an alteration of perception into a different reality and not in yours. So you have to be able to discern and tell the difference, what reality you're looking at. And sometimes it's in what you consider to be your typical reality. So it just depends.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, Bashar.
Our unconditional appreciation to you as well. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hello, Bashar. I'm wondering if you can provide me information about a species of extraterrestrial beings I met during an astral projection. I saw a male and female of this race. They were very, very lean, extremely low body fat, and dense, ripped muscles on their arms. They had ridges along the side of their face, and they were wearing a black and yellow garment that looked sort of like leather, and it reminded me of the fusion jacket from Dragon Ball Z. It also had ridges along the arms. The fusion jacket is interesting because that makes me think, well, maybe these are hybrids, as they're alluding to fusion. And I'd also like to comment that the name Varya came to me, and I'm wondering maybe these beings are connected to the Virgo constellation. Please expand if you can. Thanks.
What you were given is a projection, an interpretation. You are not seeing the beings as they actually are. This is a race of beings we are not allowed to discuss at this time, but that you are connected to. It does have to do with Virgo, but that's all we can say. But what you saw is not exactly what they are. It was made up of an interpretation of things from your mind so that you would have something to relate to. These encounters can continue, and you may gain more familiarity with them over time. But it is not our job to discuss this further.
Hello.
Good day, good day.
Good day, Bashar. So excited to see you.
We thank you. It is our passion and our pleasure to interact with you as well. What would you like to discuss?
So my first question is, oh, which which extraterrestrial race do I have? Do I have any connections with any extraterrestrial race like the Sirius or Bosnia in location?
All humans have connections to extraterrestrial races. The ones that are most common for humanity are the beings from the Sirius star system, the Pleiadian star system, the ancient Orion systems, Arcturus energy, hybrids, grays, Lyrans sometimes, tall whites, Andromeda galaxy, so on and so forth, plus several others we're not allowed to discuss. But all humans to varying degrees and at different moments have stronger or weaker connections that they download information and experience from to all of these different ET races that are involved with the evolution of Earth.
Okay, thank you. And so, do I have any, extended family members on the other side who are, whom I might meet at some point?
Yes, you all have soul family members that are non-physical.
Okay, so that when open contact happens, we get to meet them. Is that?
You're talking about extraterrestrials, you're talking about spirits. Because when you say family members on the other side, it means spirits.
Extraterrestrials. Like
Yes.
extraterrestrial, like people.
You may meet some of your extraterrestrial counterparts when open contact occurs, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. And another one is about the Judeo-Christian culture. I think you spoke about the Merovingian bloodline. Are they still around?
They are. It goes all the way back to the idea of the Anunnaki bloodlines. So it still exists in many individuals. It exists in all of you to some degree. Some individuals, some strains, some cultures have a little bit more of it, more direct route to it than others, but it exists in all of you.
Okay. What with regards to the wars that are, a lot of divisions that we see today, and also, with regards steps or methods do you recommend to resolve many of these clashes or conflicts, and and the climate as a whole for the earth? Like, what do you recommend the best path? What course of action do you think we should, both as individuals and as a collective?
It is very important to let go of fear-based beliefs, negative beliefs, to have understanding and compassion for each other, that each of you walk a different path for a good reason, that there isn't just one way to do things, that there are several ways to do things, as indicated by the number of individual paths that exist, that it all leads to the same place, it all leads home, it all leads to the same source, it all comes from the same source, and to let go of the idea that you have the only truth, the only perspective that counts, but to understand and validate the individual differences among all of you to create true unity, true harmony.
But when people give you opinions or truths per se, so how do you settle, or how do you so is it like a subjective? Is it completely subject to what works for each individual, or is there an ideal path which would works best for most people? Because if
This is why we
can't
give
agree
you
on,
this is why we give you the formula. And the only reason most people don't agree is because they're too caught up in their own belief system and not really looking at the fundamental reasons why those beliefs exist. Once you examine those beliefs and let go of the ones that are truly no longer relevant for you, truly not representative of your core frequency, there will be no disagreement. There will be validation of the differences, and the differences will be seen in a different light. And they will be seen as different ways to reach the same source. So you have to let go of the fear-based and negative beliefs to see it that way.
okay, so that's part of how we end up activating many of our genetic markers.
By following the formula, you raise your vibration. By raising your vibrational frequency, you activate the genetic markers that are relevant for you at this time to allow for the expansion of consciousness.
Thank you. And finally, do you have any personal advice for me as an individual, like what I should do, what path I should take, or
Follow the formula.
with regards to
Follow the formula
Okay.
as precisely as
Thank
possible,
you.
because you are unique. And therefore you have your way of expressing your passion and acting as a living example to others of how they can do so for themselves as well. So just by following the formula precisely, then you will be doing everything you can possibly do to serve humanity, which will then in turn serve you.
I like when I follow the formula at many points, I encounter, divisions. I mean, not divisions, but how do I say, difference of opinion and difference of interest when it comes to language and how we communicate. Is there at some point where those get resolved?
Absolutely. Because again, when you raise your frequency, you become more and more empathic and telepathic, and you know what each other are thinking without necessarily using the languages. The languages will start to fall away when you allow yourselves to identify and feel what others are feeling, to relate to it, to understand it, to have compassion for it. When you fall in love with one another, you will speak a different language. Does that help you?
Okay, thank you.
All right, we thank you.
Yes,
Aveo.
absolutely.
Good
Thank
day.
you so much. Aveo. Good day. See you, Bashar.
To you all.
Our unconditional love to you as well.
Let me just expand on the sonoluminescence.
Yes.
Is there a similar conversion process in which you can convert sound or any other medium into electrical energy?
Absolutely.
Tell me about it.
Absolutely. Well, you have it in the basic fact of sonoluminescence. You just have to make slight adjustments, or you can add what are called waveguides in the area where you are creating the light with the sound, and the waveguide can be of a diameter that is representative of an electrical wavelength, so that it can conduct that vibration down its length in such a way so that it acts as a step-down transformer and a converter into the idea of what you call electrical phenomenology.
Cool.
It would help if it was actually lower in temperature, yes. What you call superconductive.
Right. So is superconductivity only possible at low temperature, or is there a way to...
No. The idea can be at what you typically refer to as room temperature and even higher temperatures than that. You just haven't discovered the materials yet that are responsible for being able to do that.
But you have, didn't you?
Yes.
Tell me about it.
You can use mixtures of copper and boron and a few other things that we will get into at another time when you are ready for that information, but you can begin experimenting with those.
Gotcha.
Does that help?
That does. Thank you very much. What is the speed of the, what we call here, electrostatic potential, or the potential of a charge density?
Well, it is fundamentally infinite, but you have different levels of it that you interpret in your dimensional reality. So depending upon the frequency you're at, it will determine a different speed for that. But the fundamental tick of the clock is what you refer to as the Planck time.
Okay, so Planck's constant is valid in some sense.
It is the tick of the clock of your experience of physical reality, yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Does that help?
It does. What role does macroscopic quantum tunneling play in energy reception and energy conversion in electrical
It plays
systems?
a huge role.
Tell me about
It's
it.
actually within your biology, it's actually within your brain, and helps to allow your brain to act as a receiver for the higher frequency energies of your higher mind and convert them down into things that then can be processed as belief systems and thoughts and emotions and behaviors and activity within your biological.
And how does it apply specifically to electrical energy in systems?
Well, it helps generate the matrix along which electrical impulses can most easily be conducted.
So, and can you talk about an application to a, other than the brain?
Well, in the senses. Many of your scientists are now discovering that the ability of certain animals, such as certain birds, to navigate by the electromagnetic field has to do with the idea of quantum tunneling.
Gotcha.
Does that help?
It does, thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay. That's enough.
Thank you very much. Love you, Bashar.
And our love to you.
Bye-bye.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Nice to meet you.
And you as well.
So I would like to ask you if some beings have higher vibration than human being.
Well, we have a higher vibration than
and
humans.
your physical body can be seen for us or not?
You can see us, but we are almost non-physical. But we can make ourselves appear to you in solid form.
So you can decrease your vibration?
Yes,
And
which we do in order for this channeling to happen, because we have to come closer to the vibration of the channel, and the channel raises his vibration to come closer to us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, all right, thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
It's so nice to meet you.
And you as well. Speak up, so that all may hear you.
My question that I wanted to ask you was already answered.
How synchronous of you.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask you just a mundane question. What does your normal day look like?
What does my normal day look like? All right. Not that anything in our reality is normal. It is natural instead. But the idea is, as many of you know, I am a first contact specialist. Therefore, a lot of my day is occupied by making contact with different civilizations, such as yours, extending the relationship between my civilization and those civilizations, such as yours. Some of my day may sometimes be occupied by the idea of exploring space, discovering the idea of new civilizations to make contact with. A lot of it is spent observing how different civilizations function. A lot of it is also spent participating in some of those civilizations in a variety of ways. Some of it is also acting as a sculptor, utilizing different materials, such as what we described earlier as the nanoglass material, to create different forms that are receptive to different levels of energy and express those energies through those forms as we create them. Interacting also with my fellow beings on my own world in a variety of ways. There are many things that occupy my experience on a day-to-day basis. Will that answer your question?
Thank you very much, yeah. And just one more question.
You had a question after all.
Yeah. Do you also need to sleep?
We do not sleep anymore. We do not eat anymore. We learned at one point in our civilization, in our evolution, to lucid dream very powerfully. And when we learned to lucid dream, we became aware that on a higher level, there is what we call a template, a blueprint for physical reality. And in lucid dreaming, by becoming awake in the dream and controlling the dream, we could take our consciousness to that level of the template and actually make adjustments in the template, in the blueprint, to make changes in physical reality that then allowed us to become more lucid in the physical dream. And then we started to understand that physical reality was just a different kind of dream. And so by becoming lucid in our dream state, we became lucid in the physical dream, and they started to blend together until there was no difference. So we don't need to go to sleep because we're always dreaming and we're always awake. Does that help you?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. At this timing, we will extend to each and every one of you our suggestion to go and refresh yourselves, and we will resume this transmission after your break. Thank you.
Hi, Bashar. I have a question about an experience that I had. It was kind of like a dream, but it felt real, where aliens came into my house and asked me where I had gotten a big black cube that was sitting on my dining room table. I didn't know what it was or where it came from, and I told them that, and they said that I had wished for it when I was younger. And they mentioned a song that I used to sing from my favorite Disney movie. And then they took me out the window with them. And I also felt this buzzing and vibration in the back of my head. I was just wondering if you could give me any information on that, or if you knew. I'm really curious as to what the black box was, because they said I wished for it and I'm not really sure. I'm trying to figure out what it is. So thank you.
It is the truth about your being and your connection to them and your participation in the hybridization agenda. It was put into the black box so that it would open at the time when it was important for you to remember. It was hidden away until such time as it is important for you to remember your participation in the hybridization agenda. And what you experienced was a memory, not a dream. The buzzing is the effect of transitioning to a different vibrational reality. That's how your body interprets the change in frequency from one reality to another. It's not uncommon for people to experience that in having encounters that shift you to a different reality. It is often accompanied by a vibrational sound.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day, good day.
Bashar, I feel like the language as we use it here has no adequate words to express how grateful I am for this opportunity of this exchange. And I would just like to say, with the words that I do have, thank you so much to you, to Daryl, and all the people behind the scenes who make this production and make this interaction possible.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so, and it is our deep appreciation for the co-creation of this interaction to you.
Thank you. So I knew that I have just very little time with you today, and I was wondering, if synchronicity will show me what kind of questions I should ask. And then yesterday I saw a huge Dalmatian dog in front of my house, which is quite rare because it's not a dog race that is common here where I live. And I thought, okay, now I got the clue. And the reason why I won this raffle was a dream. I dreamt about the baby that was dressed in a blue overall. It looked to me like a few months old, but it said something that was so funny that my husband and I laughed really, this heartfelt laugh that you don't get often. And I asked it, how come you're so eloquent and so small? And he said something that I can't remember. And then I said, how old are you? And he said, 13 years. And I thought, how come he's so small? This can't be. When I woke up, I thought, wait a minute, this speech pattern that the baby had, this is Bashar, or his people talk like that. I remembered a study that was done with Daryl where they studied the content of the information that he was giving when he's channeling you. And I thought, okay, that has to do something with Bashar, this whole dream. And I thought, okay, what happened 13 years ago? I have no idea. And then I looked back at my dreams and I realized that 14 months ago, I had another dream where I was in a blue tube, again, this same blue, this eclectic blue, and I was talking with an ET. And this tube was like a frequency protector. So I was safe from the frequency that the ET was emitting, and we were so able to have a conversation. But I was still in this blue-black tube. And we were talking about Croatia or Dalmatia, hence the dog, yes. who I thought is the sign that I should be talking about that. And because I was clearly agitated in the dream, but in a positive sense during the dream, My husband woke me up because he was thinking I'm struggling. And then I lost the conversation and I was thinking, oh no, the ETs will think I'm so rude. I just disappeared without saying goodbye or something. And I have no idea what was spoken about, but I know it was about Dalmatia. So maybe
All right.
you can shed some light on
Well,
that.
first and foremost, do you remember what the child said that had you laughing?
No, unfortunately not.
All right. Remember that you are part of the hybridization program. You understand this?
I understand it since the 25th of March this year.
All right. Well, the child was a hybrid child. It wasn't me. It is a hybrid child that is connected to you.
Okay.
So, yes,
Does my husband also have hybrid children?
you both do, yes. Your genetics have been used, both of you, in the hybridization program. The idea is that the child is awakening within you more understanding, more expansion of consciousness, because again, the age of 13 is the symbol of transformation, the symbol of change, the symbol of letting go of the old ways and beginning the new ways, the symbol of a new cycle. So in that transformation, you are awakening to your participation, to the realization of your participation in the hybridization program. And this can carry you forward as an energy, as a momentum, into further exploration and further understanding of the role you can play in your area in helping with the awakening by being a living example of following the formula, following your passions, living your joys, living your dreams, acting through them in a way that allows others to see that they can do so as well. Do you understand?
I do. I do.
So much of the conversation that you are having in those encounters were taking place in a slightly altered reality. And the idea of the blue is a vibration that was acting as a buffer for the vibration of the ET, so you would not be overwhelmed. The idea then is to live up to the frequency that represents your higher self, your soul. And in what ways, I'm asking you, are you able to do that on your planet? How can you be of service to humanity by acting on your passions?
I think by what comes to mind, the first thing that comes to mind is that I used to be working as a counselor.
Yes.
And I have overcome a lot of physical challenges, health challenges, and all kinds of challenges. And I think this is an example that no matter what happens, I can still stay in a positive state, irrespective of.
You can transform. You can transform whatever it is and turn it into a lesson that expands your soul.
Yes.
So why is it that you used to be a counselor?
Because right now I'm a student again. I'm studying meditation. I want to become a meditation teacher.
All right. And so this is exciting to you, yes?
No.
No.
Not 100%. I have to tell you, since I was informed that I want this interaction with you, I had another dream that really turned my life upside down. And would you permit me now to tell you the dream?
Briefly, yes.
Yes. So I had a dream that I was waiting for a bus, and next to me was a man in a wheelchair, and he wanted to go onto the bus, but took my luggage. And I said, "Sir," he was an army veteran, and I said, "Sir, this is my luggage." And then because I was pulling him back, he couldn't enter the bus. But because he was going forward towards the bus, I look at the bus and I see several mantis being standing on the bus. And I'm intrigued, benevolently intrigued. And I say to him, "Oh, look, there are mantis." And he said, "Oh, now I really have to get onto that bus." And the bus was going over a bridge from small city to big city. And the mantis was so alert. They were looking into the direction of where the bus was about to drive. And the air was filled with this alertness. You could cut it with a knife. That's how it felt to me. And I was thinking, okay, I'll go too. And then when I woke up, I asked my husband, what do you know about the mantis? And he said, not much. And I said, I know nothing. I've heard the word, but I knew nothing. And then I started researching, and since then, I'm still grappling to fit it all together.
All right.
I read that they're connected with the Sasani, and I was thinking
they are connected to the hybridization program. They are the overseers.
Exactly. If somebody had asked me just 3 weeks ago, do you want to learn more about the mantis? I would have politely said, no, thank you, because I thought I'm not interested at all in anything insect. And now I think, oh my God, I must be somehow connected with the hybridization program. Otherwise, I wouldn't be dreaming so rapidly after.
All right. The symbology is mixed up with an actual presentation on a slightly different level of reality of getting on a ship with the mantises, and the idea of the veteran who is in a wheelchair grabbing your bags is an indication that it is important to let go of old baggage that holds you back in order for you to move forward and join on that ship with the mantises to go from a smaller reality to a larger reality, which is what the bridge represents, going from a smaller city to a larger city. So it's about really letting go of the old baggage, because that baggage holds you back, and allowing yourself to be free enough to move forward, to get on the bus, so to speak, to go in that direction, and to expand your consciousness. Does that help you?
Yeah, that does help me. How is the number 55 and 11 connected to the mantis? I had another dream that 55 is mantis and 11 is Sasani. What does this mean?
5 is the number of humanity. The idea is that you create synchronistic numbers for yourself to let yourself know, as like road signs, when you are in the correct vibration to move forward, to come from, to act from in your life. So all the numbers are basically representative of connecting to the one, but expressing it through your human self in a way that is more representative of your higher mind, of your soul, the one.
Okay. And is the flower iris somehow connected to any of the hybrid children?
Yes. It is not only the name of a hybrid child, the idea of the iris is that which opens up wider to allow more light in.
Yes.
It is not just the idea of the flower. It is more the idea of the iris that opens in your eye, the iris that opens in a camera lens to allow more light in. So open up and let more light in. Let go of the old baggage that's holding you down.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Does this serve you?
That serves me very much. Thank you.
All right. We thank you. Aveo.
Aveo.
Hey Bashar, this is your friend Teresa. Back in 1995, someone asked you about a race that he was calling the unseen ethereals because of their very pleasant ethereal aspect, as opposed to the fearful experience he was having with the Greys. You told him that that was a race you would call the founders, and that he was experiencing only one part of their nature, only the ethereal part of their nature, and that there was much more to them. And I'm wondering if you could talk more about the founders now. Have things changed enough since 1995 that you can give us more information on the founders? Thanks, Bashar.
No. However, there may be more about that group that will be presented within 3 to 5 of your years, not necessarily from us. but more information about them within 3 to 5 of your years, coming from a different source.
Bashar, I'm interested in the technology Ra mentioned in the raw material, known as the prana vacuum. How can we create a prana vacuum using today's technology?
The so-called prana vacuum is the same thing as the idea of what you might call the quantum vacuum, is the same thing as the zero-point energy concept that many people are talking about on your planet. It exists all around you. The technology exists that you can use to tap into it in certain ways. Many of the kinds of things that people have invented that say it's tapping into the zero-point energy are not exactly doing so. But the idea is growing in the consciousness, the collective consciousness of your planet, until such time as that awareness evolves into technology that will truly tap into that prana field, the quantum field, the void, and whatever else you may wish to call it. It will allow you unlimited energy, unlimited flow, an inexhaustible supply of energy that can be utilized in a variety of ways once you truly tap into that technology. It has to do with creating devices of proper resonance, proper frequencies, capacitors that vibrate at certain resonant frequencies that deliver and transform energy in a certain way, step it down in a way that you can use with your technology. We have talked a little bit about this as a space-time antenna concept. 3 nested spheres separated by phi ratio diameters, penetrated by antennae that are insulated from a Merkaba, a double interpenetrated tetrahedron in the center of the 3 spheres that resonates at certain frequencies and can be activated by the introduction of energy into it, and it will output energy of a higher caliber, a higher level, and a higher frequency, tapping into the quantum field in certain ways. But many people on your planet, a few of them, are beginning to experiment with this, and we cannot deliver more information about this device until they have already achieved what it is we have already delivered. End of discussion.
Hello, Bashar.
Good day.
Thank you for having this conversation with each other in this way.
It is our passion and our pleasure to do so. What would you like to discuss?
Talking about the hybrid children, you've mentioned in the past that contact between hybrid children and their mothers will expand over time.
Yes.
Has this process indeed started on this timeline? Is
Yes.
there an increase of physical contact between human beings and the hybrid children?
Yes, but in an altered reality, not necessarily physically on your planet so much, but in a slightly altered version of physical reality, and in dream time, these encounters have increased.
Okay, wonderful.
Eventually, it will leak into the physical reality as you understand it,
Yes.
although it will still be of a higher vibration than it is now.
Yes, understand. Yeah. And I also wanted to talk to you about suppressed memories.
Yes.
During our previous conversation, you've mentioned that I was visited by the Grace when I also was a child,
Yes.
and that these experiences are buried deep within my consciousness.
Well, not that deep.
Oh, not that deep. You also mentioned that I felt victimized because my childlike state was not able to comprehend what was going on during these visitations.
Yes.
Okay. And is it correct to say that from the point of view as a human being child, that these visitations and the removal of genetic material was somehow experienced as a trauma on a psychological level?
Yes, but only because of the way you were raised as a human, not because it's innate to the being a child, not because it's innate to being a human child, just because of the way your planet views these kinds of things, and because it is short-sighted in its compartmentalization of awareness. That's the only reason you experienced it traumatically.
And is that also the reason that we're still somehow afraid of extraterrestrials?
Because you are afraid of portions of your own power. And the extraterrestrials you're encountering represent and reflect the idea of your true power in certain ways.
Ah, I understand. And that, yeah, that's probably not a coincidence, but that leads up to my next question. both my parents have transitioned almost within 3 years of each other. And the last parent, my father, passed 1 year ago.
Yes.
And their physical absence caused a shift in my life.
Yes, of
I
course.
experienced-
That's the purpose of it.
Yeah. I experienced this as a tremendous opportunity to shed a whole bunch of negative belief systems that I have bestowed upon myself through their upbringing.
Well, congratulations. That is a
Thank you.
positive way to use it.
Thank you. But I also sense that this tremendous opportunity is sometimes a bit frightening,
Why?
as if this whole new space that has opened up is sometimes too big to handle.
Impossible. Otherwise, you wouldn't experience it. You only grow into the space you're ready for. So no matter how it looks, you're making a comparison, still using some of the outdated beliefs to view it, instead of letting go of those outdated beliefs and understanding you cannot experience more than you're ready for anyway. You can expand into it. That's why it looks that big, because that's how big you actually are when you let go of the limiting beliefs.
I understand what you're saying.
All
I
right.
understand what you're saying. And I also am aware of the physical impact of this awareness.
Yes.
For instance, when my body is sleeping,
Yes.
it seems to respond to this awareness with an actual physical shock during the night that
Yes.
eventually wakes me up.
Yes, it can, because again, your body's not used to that vibration or frequency of energy, but it can get used to it over time.
And how can we do that? Can you say something about how to integrate this new space and the awareness of new space and the physical response to this? Is it just going with the flow, letting it happen?
That's one way, practice in a sense, having it happen over and over again, you'll get used to it. That's one way. But one way to accelerate that is to understand or have a perspective where physical reality isn't really separate from spirit reality. It's really not so different. It's just that you've defined it as very different. You've placed certain definitions on physical reality that makes it seem so unlike spirit reality, when in fact it's a natural extension of it.
Okay, and the physical body that reacts, how can we smoothen that out?
Well, this is what I'm telling you. Stop making such a separation in your belief system between the idea of your physical body and your spirit. Your physical body is your spirit in physical terms. It's the same kind of idea, if you wish, a crude analogy of saying ice is still water. It's just frozen. But it's the same thing. It's the same substance, essentially. And so is steam. So if you start looking at your body as if it's simply, euphemistically, a frozen version of your spirit, or at least a portion of your spirit, you can start to allow the physical reality to sort of melt a little bit more, allow it to become a little bit more fluid, a little bit more liquid, and not be so different from the liquid version or the steam version. So you have to start really looking at physical reality as if it's just another state of being of spirit and not really separate. It's the idea of separation that's tripping you up.
Yeah, I understand. And you also said something about that the human beings on Earth will become more and more human over time.
Yes, you're actually not fully human yet.
Yeah, and I was wondering what you meant by that. What does it mean to be human as opposed to not being fully human?
Being fully human means that you understand that everything is made of unconditional love. You understand that everything is connected, everything is a reflection of everything else, and you act accordingly.
Yes.
Being fully human is what you ascribe to beings like Christ, Buddha, Krishna, so on and so forth. It's the idea of the behavior that reflects the godhood within you.
Yes. Yeah. And that probably also means that we're not so compartmentalized in our way of thinking then.
Exactly. You think more holistically, more as a whole system. That's why I said you understand everything is one thing. I am you from another point of view. Literally, I am you from another point of view. You are us from another point of view. A fully realized human lives in that truth.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bashar.
You are so welcome. Aveo.
Aveo.
Greetings, Bashar. I have a question for you. What is the template level of our space-time reality? You've mentioned that there is a template level and that we are each exploring themes from this template level, that there is a specific template for our lives. I'm wondering if this template is actually revealed in the deck of what we consider 52 playing cards, and if this template level of reality is expressed and symbolized in the deck of 52 playing cards, where exactly did these cards come from? Who created them and when? And what is the best way for us to utilize these cards now in our lives in order to explore the theme of our lives, play our cards right, and give ourselves permission to be our best self? Thanks, Bashar.
All 52 are symbolic of the template level because it can be mixed and matched in any number of ways. It's not any one card, it's all of them that represents and symbolizes the template level, which is created by the choices you make in spirit to have a physical experience. So, as above, so below. You use the energy of the consciousness field to arrange certain kinds of blueprints that will manifest physiologically as the theme you will explore in physical reality. And the idea of any kind of permission slip, like a normal deck of cards or tarot cards or any kind of divination system, represents to some degree the idea of the template level. Now, you have some freedom in that with your free will as to how you experience the template you laid out for yourself, and sometimes some things can be altered or shifted. But in general, the choices made by you as a spirit will be played out as the cards you are dealt. But you can shift them around a little bit here and there with your free will, but you will play that game. That's what you decided as a spirit. So that's how the cards represent the idea of the template level in energy that then becomes crystallized down in frequency, down into what you experience as the physical card game that you are playing. Playing the right cards, as you say, is easy when you simply follow the formula. That's the secret to playing your best hand.
Hey, how are you, Bashar?
Perfect, and you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Let's see. My questions are feelings or thoughts the higher priority for manifesting our reality? Because it seems like unresolved feelings manifest over our thoughts. So how are they linked? And
this is how it works. First, you begin with beliefs and definitions. What you believe to be true is reinforced by the idea of feeling that it is true, thinking that it is true, and behaving as if it is true. Belief systems use feelings, emotions, thoughts, and behaviors to reinforce the validity and the reality of the belief system, because physical reality isn't really real. Therefore, beliefs have to make you believe that it is real, and they do so by reinforcing what you believe to be true with the idea that it feels true, you think it's true, and you behave as if it's true. That's the priority, that's the order in which it happens. You cannot have a behavior, you cannot have a thought, and you cannot have an emotion without first believing or defining that something is true for you. Beliefs are the blueprint that allow you to build the house of your physical reality. So it all starts with that. So when you behave a certain way, when you think certain thoughts, when you feel certain emotions, they all go back to, what must I believe to be true about myself in order to feel, think, and behave this way? Does that help you?
Yeah. So if I want to change the belief system, the action or how I behave would be the best way to start, and then the feelings and thoughts
You
would
can
follow.
start from any direction you wish, but in a sense, the most efficient way to change a belief system is to figure out what that belief is telling you, figure out why you're buying into it, because it may simply be a habit that you have because you've been taught to believe this way. It may be that you're getting something out of believing that way because you don't hold on to any belief you don't think serves you. So even if it doesn't seem to serve you, you may have a belief that says that the alternative would be worse than holding on to the beliefs you have, even if they're not comfortable. Because you all want to believe that everything needs to serve you, which is true. It can. But sometimes you have beliefs and you hold on to them even if you know they're not the best beliefs to hold on to, because you have a belief that the alternative would be worse. And therefore you'll still hold on to whatever it is you're holding on to until you change, until you understand that the idea that something worse will happen if you behave more like your true self is a fallacy. So you have to examine why the belief is there to begin with, allow yourself to understand why you're buying into it, and be honest in your self-investigation of what you believe will happen if you actually go in a direction you say you would prefer to. Once you understand that a negative and fear-based belief is simply telling you a story that isn't necessarily true, then you can see that it is nonsensical and illogical, and as soon as it is nonsensical, you will drop it because you don't hold on to things that don't make sense. If you do hold on to things that don't make sense, it's because you have a belief that says it makes more sense than the alternative. This is what we call the motivational mechanism in your psychology as humans. You always, without fail, move in the direction of what you believe serves you. You always, without fail, move away from what you believe does not serve you. So if you see yourself choosing things that you know intellectually don't serve you, it can only mean you've defined it and attached a belief to it that says it's better than the alternative. It serves you better than the alternative. Find out why you believe that, and when you expose the belief and the story it's telling you, you will see that it makes no sense, and it will be dropped. It will be gone.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Let's see. The next question is from the soul's perspective. Is the physical body like a radio-controlled car where you the soul puts input to make it go left and right, and then there's always input, also input from the environment? So it's like
to some degree, you can use whatever analogy you wish, but the idea really is that the physical world and the physical body is a projection of the soul's consciousness. It's like putting on a diving suit. More than the idea of a remote control car, it's like putting on a diving suit or a diving mask and going diving under the ocean. The mask helps you see underneath the ocean clearly. It's not designed to tell you what to do. It's designed to tell you what you're experiencing more clearly. When you leave the physical reality, it's like taking off the diving mask and going back to the surface. So even though you have free will as a physical being, the soul determines what the general trajectory is from its own free will, and that may be what the physical mind thinks of as destiny. In other words, you are the person you are. You will do everything as the person you are. You cannot actually fundamentally change the person that you are, although the personality can shift to a great degree, but it's still happening to you as you think of yourself as a separate autonomous being. So you have the free will to experience the destiny of the soul in any way, shape, or form that the physical mind chooses to, positive, negative, happy, sad, whatever, fast, slow, up, down, but you will walk that path because it was determined by your free will as a soul. Is this helping?
Yeah, the diving suit was a much better metaphor than the radio-controlled car.
All right.
Thank you. Two more questions really fast.
Yes.
When a soul wants to have an experience here on Earth and many souls wants to have an experience here on Earth, who gets priority?
There is no need for priority because there are a multitude of infinite parallel realities that can have a similar experience.
Okay, and then the last question. On your planet, do you fart and do you laugh at your own farts like humans do?
We laugh, but we don't eat, so we don't fart.
Okay. Yeah, I think that was all. Thank you
all
very
right.
much.
Thank you, Aveo.
Aveo.
Good day, Bashar. I would like to know about the Bosnian pyramids, the ones located in Visoko, and like who built them and for what purpose, and yeah, anything you can tell me about the pyramids in Visoko in Bosnia. Thank you.
Pyramids around your planet at a certain time were all built relatively close to one another in time, around your 10,500 years ago. The idea is that they were energy collectors to balance the Earth that had gone through a catastrophic change when it was impacted by a cometary body that caused the annihilation of your Atlantean civilization. And therefore knowledge and energy was preserved in many pyramids around the planet. And also they were used as an energy balancing system to bring the planet back into alignment so it could recuperate and heal. There are other things that they were used for, but we will not go into that right now.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for talking to me.
It is our passion and our pleasure. What would you like to discuss?
So I've been following my excitement more and more since I kind of started to listen to you speak, and it feels really great. And I've been doing some like bigger and some smaller changes, and I'm following your advice of this thing of basically following my excitement more moment to moment, because there's no like one big thing in that sense.
All right, now do remember the entire formula, not just follow your excitement. There's other pieces to it, yes?
Yes, I know.
All right.
And I think what I'm like, one thing that just as an example that I quit one job that I felt like I was not excited about at all.
All right.
And now I have more free time, which is fun.
Yes.
And then sometimes I get kind of frustrated with myself because I feel like I sit there and I know that I have all these options to act on, but I kind of don't know what to do. And I wonder
yes,
if
you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. The idea, again, isn't that complicated. Don't overcomplicate it. If you have different options, decide for yourself which one is not only more attractive, more exciting than any other option, but which one can you act on? Which one can you do something about? If it seems that more than one is equal, you might as well flip a coin. Remember, synchronicity comes to bear in this, because if you flip a coin and say, all right, heads option A, tails option B, and you flip the coin, one of two things might happen. Let's say it lands on tails, option B, and you find yourself going, oh goody. Or you find yourself going, oh, I wish it had been option A instead. Oh, I wish it had been option A. Then you will know that that was the one that was more exciting. Or if you do head down a path that isn't necessarily the most exciting path for you at that moment, synchronicity will create certain circumstances that will turn you around in the correct direction. That's how it works. It's an automatic mechanism. So you don't have to sit there and wonder and be frustrated. Just act on whatever you are capable of acting on that contains more excitement than anything else, as far as you can determine, and let synchronicity guide you with the red light, green light aspect of its being, of its nature, which means it will bring you opportunities you can act on and take further, green light synchronicity. It will prevent you from acting on certain things that are not the correct path for you right now, red light synchronicity, just like you follow your traffic lights when you drive. You understand?
Mm.
So the starting and stopping is the way synchronicity guides you. No, not right now. Don't act in that direction. Act in this direction, whatever you can act on. And you have to use your imagination. Be very creative about the idea of what it means to take action on something in every way that you possibly can that has to do with that thing you say excites you. Even if you have to simulate the reality, that's taking an action on it. Let me give you an example that many people on your planet have used. There are many people who you call celebrities that are famous. But you will hear stories from many of them that before they were actually able to literally do what it is that they now do, that they're famous for, they acted it out. They simulated it. Even sometimes going so far for someone who might be a public speaker in an auditorium or a game show host or a late night interviewer as to go into a space, set it up like it's really happening, even to the level of putting fake people in the audience, maybe even just cardboard cutouts, and doing their routine as if it's really happening. Because then you're training your body to get used to the vibration of the reality of that, and that will make you attract it more strongly by doing anything you can to simulate anything you can to take an action in the direction of what excites you more than any other choice. And when we talk about that, it can also be very simple things. We don't mean when we say follow your passion, follow your excitement, that it has to be a grand project or come with trumpets or be a life-spanning career. Ta-da, here's your passion. No. Every day you have little options, simple options. I can take a walk. I can read a book. I can have lunch with a friend. I can watch a movie. Just choose the one that has more attractiveness, more curiosity, more excitement, even just the tiniest bit more that you're able to act on than any other one, and just do that first. You're still following your excitement by doing it on that level, and eventually it will usually snowball through synchronicity to bring you more and more opportunities to act on your passion in bigger and bigger and bigger ways. But the point is, it doesn't really matter if it does or not, because you're still following your excitement just by making sure that every day the options you choose are more exciting than any other option, and taking action on the ones that you can. That's all there is to it. You don't have to make it a big mystery or overcomplicate it or overthink it. That's why you're frustrated.
So you're saying I'm frustrated because I am making it way more complicated.
Yes.
Because I feel like sometimes it's literally that I have like an afternoon off and I'm sitting at home and I don't know, like
Then you're not using your creative imagination. Sitting at home. Why are you speaking with us today? Was this more exciting than any other option?
Yes.
Well, you see, that wasn't hard. So what will you do after this conversation is over? What are your options after this conversation is over? What are your options? Name some.
Probably go to sleep because it's quite late here.
All right. Going to sleep can be exciting. That's fine. But let's say it's morning. What would be some of your options?
Usually like go for a walk, go to workout.
Do you enjoy those things? Are they expressions of your passion?
Yes, they are.
Are you sure? Because you kind of hesitated.
No, I'm sure.
All right. Because remember, sometimes you may be sort of doing what excites you, but you may not be doing it in the most exciting way. Because the idea of following your passion requires every component of it to also be the most exciting way. So you can do a thing, but where you're doing it, how you're doing it, when you're doing it, with whom you're doing it, all have to be of that vibration, or you're not really following your passion. So you get to decide the way in which you're actually acting on your excitement. And isn't that an exciting thought?
It is actually.
All right. So just make sure that whatever it is you choose to do out of the options that you have, whether it's taking a walk or working out, you're doing it in the most exciting way as a whole system. All the components of it are being done in the most exciting way. And if you can't find that one of the components is the most exciting way you would prefer to do it, use your creative imagination to create your exciting way of doing it. Yes?
Yeah, I think that that what you just said with the creative, yeah, that actually helps a lot. I've never thought about it that way, that I
All
have
right.
the power to do that.
You do. You do. So
Mm-hmm.
if that makes things more exciting, then you're on the right path.
Yeah.
Does this
Thank
help?
you. Yeah, that helped a lot. Yes, it really did.
All right. Does that serve you today?
Yes.
Then we thank you for your interaction. Aveo.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Of course, always. You too.
Thanks. Bye.
Why would I have anything else?
Sorry?
Why would I choose anything else?
Oh, yeah, that's makes sense.
Yes, I know. That's why I said it. So go and don't choose what doesn't make sense.
I will. Thank you so much, Bashar.
It's up to you. Thank you.